Hey everyone, and welcome once again to my channel. My name is Arun. I'm a leadership coach, and today the topic that I have chosen is a very crucial topic which talks about that 8 signs that you are not behaving as a leader yet. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm saying that a lot of people, they may get promotions in managing people, managing higher responsibilities as a business leader, but eventually they have not grown out as a complete leader. So it is very important to know that what are the factors that deprive them of becoming a great, inspiring, and looking forward leader than a one where people do not want to work with you, people do not want to come near to you, or rather people would like to run away from you. Until you don't know this or you don't have the awareness of this, you are not going to make much difference whatever role that you are in. So you may get a promotion, you may have a change of your designation on your visiting card that you are the business head, you are the national head, you are the marketing head, you are the finance head. But if you do not reflect on the right traits as a leader, you won't be accepted as a leader. In our consulting experience, when we speak to a lot of leaders, we ask them that, okay, what are you really looking forward to? Now, when people are changing jobs or they are aspiring to grow, one of the factors they highlight about is that when they get a new role, they want a very good designation, a fancy designation. Let's say, for example, vice president or president or director, because in their mind, they believe that these designations are going to play a crucial role for their career path. So I totally agree with that. There's nothing wrong in it. Now, what is wrong in it that even after getting that designation or the desired work profile that you were always waiting for, you are not giving the justice to that. And you are always in the race of hierarchical elevations rather than looking at what kind of results are you bringing. So, as the workspace is changing, the work competencies are changing, it is no more related to your designations, it is all related to what kind of results that you are driving. Even if my designation is just a senior manager and I am able to produce highest amount of results from my KRAs and my deliverables as per my key performance areas, as per my appraisal cycles, that's what it counts. So let's say, for example, because of a fancy designation, you have written that you are the vice president, sales or marketing, and you have been called for an interview for the next level. While they ask you that what were your roles and responsibilities and what kind of deliveries that you have made in ensuring your achievements, and you have very less to add from that strategic role, because lot of these designations are now offered to younger people who are not even 4 years or 5 years of their work experience or even 10 years. Well, experience doesn't matter at all today. What matters is that do you have that mind and your intent to solve those problems and bring those results what the organization is looking for. And if you have that, so whether you are a 5 years experience or you are a 25 years of work experience, you are the most sought after person for that organization or any organization outside in competition. And that is why these people are always in demand, because they are not always fancy about designations, their cabins, the kind of frills that organizations provide in terms of car or a PA and many more offers that are added to the role. It's not that at all. It's about what you deliver at the end. That's it. Because that gives you not just recognition, but it also gives you a lot of money. In simple words, what value you are adding in the limited amount of time that you have, your boss have, and your juniors have. If you are not doubling your value in the same amount of time or tripling your value in the same amount of time, it's likelihood you are a person who is only looking for fancy designations, fancy offices, and that is what is important to you rather than work results. So think about it. If you focus on value addition, you will get all these things following you. But if you do vice versa, it won't. Another factor that I have seen for leaders who are over ambitious, they over promise to impress their superiors. How many times you have seen that in a meeting when a senior director or the company head is speaking, some of those people said, yes sir, ho jayega, I will do it sir. And they are the first one to jump on it to impress upon that they will be able to solve that, or they will be able to achieve that tough objective, showcasing that how high achiever they are and how much initiator they are, without taking a deep dive into the situational analysis of the given objective or the task. When such people jump on this, they are the one who are overcommitting and under delivering. And these people are being very watched very carefully by the leadership teams at various levels, because they know that such people are just creating more noise than the reality. And that is why they remain where they are, they don't move forward. And many a times it is also a discussion at the boardrooms that do we need such leaders? And no wonder such people struggle a lot. I've seen that this happening with a lot of leaders who are over ambitious, that they just take up any task by virtue of their passion and motivation to deliver results at any cost. So many times, what happens when these people overcommit and under-deliver, they go back to their teams, they put them under tremendous pressure to deliver results, which leads to compliance problems sometimes. Because below people under them, they are looking at that if they don't achieve the results, their manager is going to eat them out. And in order to achieve those results, you will see that people compromise on some of the practices so that they are able to show a good picture to their manager. And this is where your leadership is failing. If you are a person like this, think about it, that are you doing the right thing? Are you really analyzing the problem? Are you really understanding? And are you giving a realistic but stretched numbers or objectives that can not only help in achieving it, but also ensuring that your team is equipped enough to achieve that objective, either through training or motivation, or making the task easier to them by simplifying it. If you are not doing this and you are just committing by virtue of your voice, you are digging a bigger pit for yourself and for your team and for the organization. Another factor that a lot of leaders do not practice in becoming a great leader is they ignore the feedback, or rather I would say they don't even ask for feedback. As Marshall Goldsmith has very categorically mentioned in his book, what got you here won't take you there, which simply means that if you want to go to the next level, if you want to grow and become an inspiring leader, you first have to take feedback from people around you, including your peers, superiors and juniors, because feedback mechanisms helps you to know that which are the areas that you really are doing well, as well as the areas that you can do better in the next coming months, weeks or years, that will help you to sharpen as a great leader. But the tendency is that a lot of leaders, what they say, particularly if they are successful, what do they say? They say that I have reached this position in spite of those shortcomings and not because of those shortcomings. So when you say that in spite of those shortcomings, number one, you are aware of your shortcomings. Number two, you are confident that by doing certain things, you have able to achieve those results in spite of those shortcomings in you. And this tendency brings a point that I do not want to change. I want to repeat more of the same. And when they do repeat more of the same, there is a tendency that they stop listening. When they stop listening, which means they stop taking feedback, which means they are failing and they don't realize it. And this is what is the importance of feedback and feed forward, which none other than Marshall Goldsmith has highlighted. And I also practice it in my leadership coaching for a lot of inspiring leaders, that taking feedback and most importantly, accepting feedback. A lot of leaders are in a denial mode that no, I'm not like this. No, that person must have said on certain reason because there was something happening at the background. All these are example of denying a change in you. When you are in a denial mode, nobody can help you to change and become a better person. And that is one of the most important factor of taking feedback, seeking feedback, going to your junior most person, which requires courage, that you are ready to go and listen to the junior most person because once you do that, it melts your ego, which is biggest problem for a lot of leaders who are highly successful at the topmost level. So just think about it. Have you really matured yourself as a great leader yet? And the final factor is that leaders who have become leaders but yet they have not become great or inspiring leaders, they do a work of checklists rather than developing their people. Primarily, I have seen and I have learned over the years that the role of a leader or a great leader is to create more leaders for the organization, which means you have to understand what are their strengths, what are their developmental needs. You also need to develop those people so that in future they can take up your role or future role in the organization. And that can happen only when you are able to delegate your task. And those tasks which are very important. But I'm sure you will be wondering that how can I deliver or delegate a most important task to my subordinate or my junior team member? Yes, you can, as long as you have built up the confidence that you have developed and coached that person to that level that he can take up the next responsibility. And if you are able to do so, I can tell you this is how you will become a more strategic leader rather than a checklist leader who is just finishing his task and you are only busy in execution. A team is provided to the leader to ensure that you start working on strategic things by developing your team. That is your core role. But eventually I have seen that most of the leaders are working one level below. They are more in execution because they say that if they are not involved in that execution, the project will fail because they don't have confidence on their people. Why they don't have confidence on their people? I would like to challenge. Number one, did you not hire the right person when you were doing the hiring process? If you have hired the right person, then why you are not confident that this person has the ability to learn? Which means it is not the fault of the person but the fault of a leader that you are not able to execute those things in their development. And if you are not developing people, then you are not a leader. And that is why I say that you are a leader only by designation, by your visiting card, or by the frill that you have added around you, but not an inspiring leader that you really look forward. An inspiring leader is the one where people look for that when you contribute to the development of your people, you help them solving their problems and make them learn how to solve the same problem next time. And once you see that these people have started to learn and grow, what eventually you are doing is you are becoming redundant for your current role, which means you have made somebody ready in your team who can replace you, and you are knocking the door upwards saying that now I am ready for the next role. Tell me what should I do next. This is the core role of a leader, not the checklist and the task of execution that you are running around. Well, friends, these are some of the factors that came to me that any leader can fall into this trap, and that can be a young leader who has been just promoted into a people manager role, or as big as somebody who is having 25 years of work experience and he's still struggling to achieve that leadership tag. So the question that you need to ask before you jump on this, what got you here won't take you there. So in order to be very clear on your developmental goals, start looking at these factors. And as I said in the beginning, if you are still struggling, you can reach out to me and I will help you with very specialized approach of Hogan, which will help you to identify your blind spot, which eventually I will help you to make an action plan for your growth. Thank you so much for watching me, and I look forward for your feedback and comment if you really enjoyed this video today.